This is another example of one of the long guns that was taken off of the field at Gettysburg by J.T. Hayes, and it's kind of a typical example of a conversion musket that would have been used in the Civil War. This one is actually a Springfield. It's a model 1816 Springfield, and it's dated 1837 on the lock. The interesting thing about this one, it has something called a cone conversion, okay? And that's the type of conversion that this musket has present now. Now, interesting enough, in about 1842, the federal government mandated that all flintlock muskets be converted to percussion. And this is one of the types of conversions that was approved by the federal government. Springfield made these muskets between 1816 and 1840, but then, you know, after the fact, 1842s and in the 1850s, they started converting these muskets. This is an example of one of it. It had a 42-inch barrel. It shot a 69 caliber ball, and it's typical of a military musket that would have been used before the Civil War and then converted for the Civil War. And this one likely is Union because it shows one of the approved methods of conversion. As you can see, it's in what we call as found condition. This is exactly the way that J.T. Hayes picked this up off of the battlefield at Gettysburg and brought it to a shop in Emmitsburg, and it had stayed in the family ever since, traveling down the generations until we have it here today. Let me show you a little bit about this, why they call it. It's called actually a Belgian cone conversion because under the hammer here, let's try the action. Ooh, actually really nice and tight. The action really works nicely still. It's a nice tight conversion, nice tight action. And here you have this nipple that is actually just fastened right into the barrel of the gun. And this brass piece right here is just a brass inlay because that's where the flintlock mechanism used to be. So what they did is they ground down that area, they filled it with that piece of brass, they inserted this nipple, this percussion nipple, and this is called a Belgian cone conversion, is what it's known as. Action is nice and tight. You can see, if you can, on the lock plate, it says Springfield 1837, I believe we said, right about there. And so it's got a really nice Springfield mark on it. Overall, in pretty good condition, being that it saw battle. It was at Gettysburg. It was picked up off of the battlefield. It's got the side plate there. It's got that really kind of heavy rust patina. Right here you can see there's a couple letters. Right here it says V and P for viewed and proofed, meaning that this was, looked at, an inspector looked at this in the arsenal. He looked at it, he viewed it, he said it was good to go. He stamped it and he said it was viewed and proofed, right? So that's what this means. Has the U.S. on the butt plate right here. The wood is actually in pretty good condition. I mean, it has the bruises and a couple bangs and scrapes, as you could expect. Obviously, it's an antique gun. Please don't go out and try to shoot this. It's probably not safe. We're selling these strictly for the historical significance. We don't advise anybody goes out and tries to shoot these. But this is a really interesting example. A model 1816 cone conversion musket from the Civil War, likely Union, and presented to you only here on Rare Collectibles TV.
This is item M1378, a model 1816 Springfield cone conversion musket for only $1,695. Again, that's item M1378, a model 1816 Springfield cone conversion musket for the collector-friendly price of just $1,695.